Alright.
Yeah, it feels good today on this Monday afternoon. We're here with Will, CEO and owner of Heart of Aligned Management. What's going on, man? Thanks for coming down to your Chronicles media interview here at the Golden Impala in Los Angeles, California.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Beautiful day outside. You know, the show must go on despite the rain. So, yeah, man. You know, it's a beautiful space. You know, I'm welcome to be here. Happy to be here. You know, I hope you guys enjoy the show. Let's get to it.
So, would you say that you're ready to unpack who Will is as a person, as a manager?
Definitely.
You ready?
Definitely.
Cool, let's talk about it. Hey, what's going on, world? This is K Williams for Chronicles Media. I'm here back on my interview platform. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back. Today, we're here with music manager Pierre. Pierre's a Chicago native, but has found a new home in LA for over 10 years now. He's a college graduate with a degree in sociology. He is also the CEO and owner of Heart of Aligned Management, where he is currently assisting and managing some talented artists as they pursue their career. We're here today to learn more about Pierre in the most candid fashion ever. Pierre, what's going on, man?
What's happening?
Man, so it's finally actualized now, right?
Yeah.
We get to sit down. We get to talk about who Pierre is as a man.
Yeah.
Most importantly, who he is as a career-driven individual.
Yeah.
So, man, we rocking, man.
Yes, sir.
How was your morning this morning?
Pretty good. You know, the traffic was, you know, crazy per usual. But this is LA, you know, so this is something I got used to.
Right. Unexpected rain, huh?
Yeah. Totally unexpected. You know, I woke up and I was like, what is that thunder? You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, it's thunder? Let me check outside.
Right.
You know, and, you know, I was like, you know, the show must go on. So, you know, here we are. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. So let's jump into the interview. So you're a Chicago native, for those who might not know. What part of Chicago are you from, and what was your environment like growing up?
South side. You know, I really, you know, it was like rough, but, you know, I don't really, you know, I kind of transitioned a lot, you know, growing up. I had a really interesting upbringing, you know, with my parents and everything. As of right now, you know, even speaking about that, you know, it's just, you know, me and my mom here in California. You know, I really came out here when I was pretty young, you know, came back, went back, you know, kind of just jumping around, and finally settled down here in Los Angeles, California.
Okay. How's the adjustment been till date?
Pretty interesting, I would say. I do like Chicago a little bit more though, because it's a lot faster. People here are a lot laid back, but it's also good as well. You know, the weather here is great. You know, and it's just beautiful people, and I like the fact that, you know, if you want to make it in the entertainment business, it's here. You know, this is the place to do it 100%. You know, so that's, you know, what I do, you know, managing a musician, so what other place I want to be but here.
So back to your family structure.
Yeah.
How would you describe your family structure growing up?
Growing up, I had both my parents in my life. My dad unfortunately passed away at an early age when I was 15. You know, so it was just me and my mom after that. You know, I learned I've always been a fast learner with things, so, you know, just simple things about how to take care of the house, how to wash dishes, how to cook. You know, my mom early on instilled in me, like, you know, you got to take care of yourself, you know, just in case anything happens, you know. So I had a really solid foundation growing up, and, you know, my mom, you know, just opened me up to the world and let me see things earlier on. You know, some people might say that's a bad thing in some cases, but I say it's important because, you know, I am who I am today, you know. So I wouldn't, looking back on everything, I wouldn't take anything back.
Absolutely. So in your home, was music an an important dynamic, and who introduced you to music and at what age?
I had it coming from both sides. You know, really, my mom, you know, she liked her music, you know, which is like oldies, and my dad also liked oldies as well. So I grew up listening to like Marvin Gaye, the Supremes, Temptations, a lot of Quincy Jones curated music.
Okay.
Sam Cooke.
Okay.
You know, so that's the foundation. You know, I used to come back home after school, you know, and that's all I would hear because my dad owned you know, them old school speakers. You know, he'll have one big speaker on this side of the room and another speaker on this side of the room, and he'll literally like make my mom turn down the TV. I'm listening to music, and music would just be blasting throughout the house. You know, so it was, and it'll be like Temptation songs, you know, or just Motown in general, you know, with him being from Chicago, Hyde Park, you know, so that's the premise he grew up on as well. So, you know, I've always listened to oldies, and then that's once I grew into liking music more, you know, I started to listen to different genres, you know, listen to all kinds of music essentially on my own, but I would say my premise is oldies, yes. So
would you say that you were pretty much seasoned musically growing up?
Essentially, yes. I'll also say, you know, unconsciously seasoned, because I just listened to music at the time. I didn't know what the hell I was listening to. I was like, oh, this sounds good. Well, this sounds good. You know, I like this. You know, and then as I grew older, you know, I started researching a little bit, and like, you know, I used to watch documentaries as well with my father a lot on you know, different artists, musicians, entertainment figures, people of that nature. So, you know, I grew to understand, you know, how music was created, and you know, what you would call like kings, essentially, the kings and queens of their genres respectively. And understand who they were as a person and their upbringing, and you know, it came full scope for me.
So for those who don't know, how old are you in fact?
26.
26?
27.
Oh, okay. 26, 27.
Late 20s.
Right. But you know, you take it back in retrospect.
Yes.
Right? And I feel like once you know the history of something, it's easy to push forward.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It births some type of consciousness, right?
Yeah. I feel like, you know, just even starting, you know, with this whole business of mine, I feel like I was years in the game understanding how things work.
Okay, so as we delve deeper into who William P. is, who were some of your favorite artists growing up and why?
First and foremost, Sam Cooke. You know, believe it or not, you know, he had a soulful sound. You know, one of the original pop rock stars, in my opinion. Just one of those artists that earlier on you couldn't put in the box.
And he's an LA native, to my knowledge.
Yes,
absolutely.
And also, unfortunately, passed away in Los Angeles as well.
At a downtown hotel, I believe.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah,
for sure.
Nice. You know, he just had a soulful sound that he was able to, you know, whoever the listener was, touch their heart, you know, with his music. And, you know, I heard it earlier on as a kid, and I was just blown away. I was just like, whoa, you know, saying this is awesome. And, you know, like we were talking about earlier, he's also one of the artists that, you know, I did, you know, some research and actually figured out who he was, you know, and other guys as well. For example, Marvin Gaye. Another soulful brother, you know, that
another LA native.
Exactly. You know, who just had that effect to reach and touch someone's soul through the speaker. You know, I mean, shit, he didn't even know who the hell. I for sure didn't know who I was. You know, I never met the man, but you know, I always, you know, listened to his music. I thought, you know, I felt close to the guy. You know what I'm saying? So him, and then, you know, other artists as well. As far as like Madonna with the sound. You know, I could go. The list goes on. You know, different time periods is like, you know, great artists. As of recent, just relating to recently, I would probably say Let's see. Common, essentially.
Right on,
you know?
of course.
Social conscious.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Tupac Shakur, of course. You know, for the hip hop heads, you know, they same here. You know, I liked hip hop as well. You know?
And you know, Common is actually one of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
I take it back to Can I Borrow a Dollar?
Okay.
One day it'll all make sense. Classic gems, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Common.
Yeah.
So, at around what age did you fall in love with music, and was hip hop your first interest in music?
I would say hip hop and R&B was my first interest. I kind of liked both at the same time. Reason being because, you know, I would with my parents I would mostly listen to R&B or oldies, what they were listening to. But when I was by myself, I would listen to hip hop and, you know,
kind of sneak off and listen to it.
Yeah, you know, because, you know, my mom really didn't like all that cussing going on in the house, so I would, you know, duck off in the room and, you know, listen to a couple hip hop tracks, essentially like Tupac or Biggie or Run DMC, Public Enemy, you know, even like the modern era cats, Ja Rule, 50 Cent. You know, those guys as well. It was a bit therapeutic, I would say. I remember particularly, you know, I used to play basketball in high school and a little bit in college as well.
What position?
Shooting guard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
And, you know, I would listen to music before my games, you know, and just lock in the zone.
Who was on the playlist?
Woo! I would say, Drake, Pac, and so many others. You know, I can't tell you, you know, say who's for who, but just know I was locked in that zone. Some Future on there, highlighted Future, and it was so I would say music was therapeutic to me in ways that I would have to get things done or preparing me for what's next. Essentially, at the end of the day, too, you know, just to fall asleep, I will have music on or just instrumentals, you know, just to go to sleep on. And you know, I'll early on be having ideas, you know what I'm saying, things that, you know, oh, this is cool, you know what I'm saying. And also once I started listening to music like that, you know, I got into making beats.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, essentially. But that's just, you know, something I did on the sideline. I don't want to say I'm a beat maker or anything like that, you know, or DJ or nothing. But, you know, just playing with music and understanding sound, really.
So you would say that that music, it pretty much helped you through college?
Yeah, essentially.
Okay, so you're a college graduate from Cal State Dominguez Hills University. Let's talk about your college days.
Yeah.
Is this the time where you found interest in managing artists?
Yeah, essentially. You know, I walked into college, you know, undecided, and I went into sociology. Minored with communications. You know, I played sports earlier on, you know, and I had an unfortunate injury, and, you know, it forced me to think about other things in life, you know, and I fell back on, you know, what I've always had a relationship with, essentially, which was music. And, you know, I never thought of myself as an artist, you know what I'm saying? I never thought of myself as a rapper or any type of, you know, I could sing, you know, or anything like that. But, you know, I looked at the whole industry as a whole, and, you know, quickly understood my lane, essential lane in this business. You know, and I would say, yeah, you know, again, you know, I definitely, you know, I was thought about it, and, you know, did a lot of research and understanding how things work. You know, pretty much for the first 2 years, I kept to myself as well. You know, just kind of doing a lot of research at home, and, you know, understanding. I had a couple close friends that were like key players in the game as well. You know, won't say any names, but, you know, these people, you know, helped me.
Shout out to them, right?
Yeah, shout out to them. You know, and then earlier on, you know, worked with like hip hop artists, and, you know, did that whole ordeal. So yeah, you know,
So
Sure.
college is where managing artists for Pierre, I know you as Pierre,
Yeah.
that's where it cultivated. It started from
Essentially,
college.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you initially told your loved ones that you were interested in the music industry and managing artists and moving around, were they receptive to it? And did you get a lot of support initially?
Yes. I told my second brother, shout out, bro, you know, Mike over there, holding it down in Indianapolis. I told him originally, I was like, yo, you know, I think I got something here, you know. I understand, you know, I got to keep a good comprehension of how these things work, and I think I could do it. He supported me. I mean, he supports me in everything, you know, not just him, all my family do, you know, anything, any endeavor I take on, it's 100% support, you know, and that's why I love him as well, you know,
Absolutely.
it's important. Yeah, so, you know, I told him, and, you know, he was like, whoa, like, you know, that's a big situation, you know what I'm saying? That's a big thing to do, for sure, you know? And I was like, yeah, I know, but I'm going to just put it together piece by piece, you know? And I felt like at the time, too, like, I know a lot of mentors, you know, that could help me and give me a clear understanding of how things work. And, you know, I took it from there, and, yeah. But I would say also, you know, I never really had any backlash from family like that.
That's a good thing.
You know, which is a positive,
Absolutely.
I would say. And yeah.
Would you say thus far that success has been based off of your support? Has that been the pillar, the support?
Yeah. Yes. And, you know, the constant, like, reaching out. You know, and just, I mean, sometimes, you know, I appreciate it when people, you know, just, like, especially family members, you know, just like, hey, how you doing? So,
Just check on you, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You know, it's really important to me, you know what I'm saying? Even you do that sometimes, you know.
Absolutely.
Hey, how's it going, you know?
I'm old school, man. I still pick up the phone and actually check on people and call them.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of times...
That's like archaic nowadays, you know?
Absolutely.
And I feel like the industry that we're in, it's very hard to find that, you know what I'm saying? And
The genuineness, right?
Yeah. You know, it's a lot of people just kind of floating around and
Just kind of
you know,
going through life and just, right.
one-upping each other, essentially.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely. So how long have you been an artist manager?
I would say a total of 3.5 years. I considered it like 4 years. 4 years ago, I considered doing it, and officially didn't get into it until the next year and thereafter. You know, that first year, I would say it was just
Hardships.
You know, just going back and like working with people and having all those interesting like conversations and going through all that, and then, you know, solidifying myself afterwards as well.
Okay, so transitioning into a successful 3.5, 4 years later, what inspired you? For those who don't know, you're actually the CEO and owner of Heart of a Lion Management.
Yeah.
Where did that inspiration come from?
Earlier on, I would say in college for sure. You know, I always seen, you know, like you have, like, for example, you have your hip hop artists, you have your R&B people, you have your pop people, and everyone's just kind of like in their own space, essentially, right? So what if, you know, I was able to create something where I could bring everything together, you know? And I admit, when I first got into this, you know, I didn't think, hey, like, I'm going to end up potentially managing multiple artists and, you know, getting down that lane of essentially creating a label or, you know, say entertainment business, entertainment company, essentially. But it, you know, the pieces fall where they were, the pieces fell where they fell. You know what I'm saying? And I always, like, me personally, I like all kinds of music, right?
Absolutely.
You know, so I would say inspiration, you know, came from just me liking all kind of musics and how can this, bring this all together
cohesively.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Bringing all the pieces together, essentially. And I felt like I was in that position to do so, and made it happen, and Heart of a Lion, I mean, the lion, because I'm a Leo, that's where that comes from.
When's your birthday?
July 31st.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. That's where the lion logo and everything comes from. And yeah.
So when we talk about bringing all the puzzle pieces together and working in unison, how many artists are you currently working with now?
3 essential artists, 3 artists under my belt, and I'm also working with 4 in fact. Well, so I'm working with a total of 5 people right now.
And who are these artists?
So we have Shalon Anderson.
He got some dope music.
Yeah.
Can't wait till he debuts, for sure.
Yeah. I have him in the lab every week. Every
Monday and Tuesday, right?
Every other day. Every Monday and Tuesday.
Nah, I get it.
But Sam the Savage, female superstar as well. In the making.
She's also dope.
Yeah.
She has no ceiling.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I think that in this climate of hip hop, to not have a ceiling, I mean, that's a term of endearment, right?
Yeah. Lil Rizzy, who's a pop rock star, you know what I'm saying? He just dropped shout out to Lil Rizzy, he just dropped the tape as well last year on iTunes.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So if y'all don't get that, it's called Rizzo, you know what I'm saying?
There we go.
Check it out.
Working your promo in too, huh?
Yeah. I also work with Barrington Henderson.
Okay.
Who's a old school R&B artist, formerly a member of the Temptations.
Mm-hmm.
Current member of the Stylistics.
Right on.
So really good guy, and Nam Jones as well.
Right on. Shout out to Nam Jones.
Yeah. Credible R&B artist. He also just released a tape as well.
A Billboard artist as well, right?
Yeah, Billboard. Not to mention Billboard charting artist. Also, not to mention Grammy nominated artist and Branson Henderson as well.
Right on.
So, so I'm blessed to be working with a decent group of people, awesome group of people, and and I would say the premise too of Heart of a Lion, my sub caption is believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
And, that comes from the heart. I've always felt like I'm the underdog. You know what I'm saying? I've always, just had like self-conscious ideas within myself, and you probably wouldn't know, by just looking at me.
Right. And no one should, right?
Yeah, no one should, of course. But, believing in yourself is something I've always stood in. And, that's I had to implement that in my business, and for sure, all the people I work with, I make sure, I'm not gonna work with you if you're not honest, you're not understanding, you're not comprehensive and open. Essentially, those are things I live by. You know what I'm saying?
The values, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about values. So, what values do you look for in an artist when you initially begin to work with them?
First and foremost, honesty. First and foremost, honesty. I just think about, hey, can I trust this person, with my life, or can I trust this person, not to backstab me or do any things behind my back? Is this person trustworthy?
And in this industry, that's hard, right?
Yes. I mean, there's a lot of flaggers, false flaggers, saying that, smile in your face and, backwash behind your back.
Absolutely.
So it's a crazy industry for sure. I also look for trustworthiness, which, I mean, is banking off of honesty as well. Purity, within their music, uniqueness.
I like that word, uniqueness. I like that because the artists that you work with, they all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
And I see that implemented in the infrastructure of you building Heart of a Lion management.
Yeah, for sure. That's something, you know, I what I put together on purpose, like of how I wanted Heart of a Lion to be. You know, I feel like that's you know what's needed in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, you gotta think about it. At the end of the day, the youth is listening to this. You know, kids are listening to this music. Teenagers are listening to this music. You know, and that's why I always try to push a positive image as well. You know, really could miss me with all the negative, so to speak. You know, and that's also going back to one of my critiques as well. You know, I don't too much deal with negative artists, you know what I'm saying, or artists I would say that's pushing an image of negativity in any sort, you know, whether you know, it's violence, degrading women, you know, drugs, alcohol.
That's
I mean,
the purity. That's the purity aspect, huh?
Yeah, you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I think it's important, you know, that we're pushing the right agenda for the youth. You know, that's our future.
Would you describe Heart of a Lion management a place that welcomes diversity?
Yes, of course.
How so?
Of course. I mean, within itself, you know, Shalon's African American, Sav is Caucasian. You know, hell, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe in the future I'll be working with somebody from Asia, you know, or from South America, or I have a lot of friends, and there are actors that are African. You know what I'm saying? Really good friends, you know. You know, and I feel like I want to build within Heart of a Lion. I want to build, you know, diversity. That's something that's needed because I don't want any body feel left out. You know what I'm saying? Like, or people would be like, well, I don't want to listen to this because I can't relate to it. You know what I'm saying? I want to build something I'm already building something that, you know, it's relatable to anybody, all walks of earth, you know.
The impact of music with the youth. It seems as though you're a huge proponent of pushing positivity.
Yeah.
So when we talk about pushing positivity, the positivity starts with the youth, right?
Yes, because that's the future. You know, kids listen to this music. You know what I'm saying? They listen to what we put out, and unfortunately, you know, some of them take it to heart. You know, I've heard stories about like people, adolescents, or I'll just use the word teenagers, listening to like Young Boy and taking the lyrics to heart. You know, little do they know, a lot of these artists don't live those lyrics. So if you have a listener, you know what I'm saying, taking everything to heart, they're going to go out and do what you say. I don't want to push that image. You see what I'm saying?
Because there's a responsibility there, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You know, it goes a long way, essentially. You know, so I try to really have the people I'm working with and people that's part of Heart of Lion to all push positivity. You know, so at least I'm doing my part and we're doing our part to have a good impact on the world, essentially, you know, even if it's just only from us.
Right. I mean, it's a start.
Yeah.
And you kind of already checked off that box of your debt to the world, if you will, right?
Yeah. I mean, we can't change the world, but we could definitely try. You know what I'm saying? Make an imprint on the footsteps we walk. You know what I'm saying? Man,
so what's next up in the immediate future for Heart of a Lion management?
Expansion first and foremost. I want to get my content, our content as a whole, within youth services. You know, I want to build the vision of being able to, you know, like if I'm a 15-year-old on the block and I could come in and, you know, have like, you know, essentially make music or do, you know, hang out, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, with the artists, or create like a one-stop shop, you know. And a lot of people will perceive that as a label, you know what I'm saying. So I mean, the pieces may fall where they lay, you know, but I do want to have that implemented as part of Heart of Lion, and also a social justice piece as well, because I feel like in this day of age, that's very important. and then just not aside from music, give insight how to be a man, how to be a woman,
build character.
Like, yeah, and build, this like a center, where everybody could come, all walks of life. I don't care how much money you have or you don't have any money, you can come here and, get the same experience. So, I'm actually working on that right now.
Who are you working with? So when we talk about expansion, who are you working with pretty close-knit with the expansion of Heart of a Lion and just the outreach perspective?
Okay. I have a friend, he goes by K.O. Anderson, really good friend of mine. We're essentially working on building a one-stop shop, a house, so to speak, where musicians could come, practice their craft, sleep, eat, and relax, essentially.
Absolutely.
In a safe space, a safe environment, totally unjudgmental environment as well. I'll speak on this too. I feel like a lot of artists in this industry get discouraged because of how other people perceive them or what they think people perceive them as, essentially. So it's a lot of artists that's not even known, that's really good. You know what I'm saying? That's
for sure.
Incredible. You
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Incredible. And you wouldn't even know it, just because they're not on iTunes or they're not on Amazon or they're not at the Grammys, essentially.
So you just recently took a meeting.
Culture.
You just recently took a meeting with someone, right? As far as the expansion, with who?
Yeah, with K.O.
Okay.
K.O. Anderson.
No, but with Ronnie Howard and...
Oh, yeah, and Ronnie Howard. Yeah, and that's another piece as well, which they will eventually overlap, because we all have similar views.
Who was the other person involved, too? Because we met her at Media Day, right?
Yeah, Camila.
Camila, there we go.
So,
shout out to Camila, shout out to Ronnie Howard.
Yes, sir. Politics weekend as well. Definitely good group of people, and we're gonna sit down some more and discuss how can we create something that's unique and able to help both the youth and people in the midst of their career as well.
Absolutely.
So be on the lookout for that in the near future. Not saying any more details on that, but definitely I would say this: Heart of Lion is gonna be bigger in the coming future.
So Heart of a Lion management.
Yeah.
What's the overall impact that you want your management style and Heart of a Lion management to impact the world?
Okay, I'll say this: there's a lot of people that have access to what you would call keys that could take people's careers further, and they choose not to help. So I want to create something where finances don't matter. What you call it, like social credibility doesn't matter. As in speaking, like all these people know me, I'm famous. And you're not, and I'm not going to help you. I don't want to push that agenda. I want to actually open up something where everyone could come, and be a part of this. I don't care if you have one follower, you have 1 million followers, just creating like something unique in its own, where everybody could come, and it's a safe space, to create your music.